Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sound and Play. I'm your host, Ayat, and today we're going to finish out the topic of Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. So instead of the in depth analysis like last time, this time around, I'm going to give you a quick recap, and I'm also going to give you my personal thoughts on the beef overall. So before I get into it, I'm going to let y'all know that this is just part one of episode seven, but in part two, we'll gravitate away from the beefing. So this is how it goes. This is how it is. Let's go right in. I'll listen to everything, and I'll say this based on Drake, I feel like he came back on Family Matters. Push ups was I. Taylor Made was a straight ass. Honestly, about like Taylor Made, that was the one song that I couldn't sit through fully. So maybe there is a little bit of bias there because I couldn't sit through it, but it was so bad I couldn't sit through it. Just like the AI Tupac and the AI Snoop Dogg, like, man, it was disrespectful. I don't think like it didn't make the song better. I kind of understand why he did it. He's trying to go at like Kendrick's influences, and they're from Cali too. So he's just trying to be like, "Yo, Kendrick, like you can't do this." He's basically trying to like antagonize him based on his inspirations and his hometown. And I told you I'm gonna just do a quick kind of recap. Not a, yeah, but it's just a matter of this. I have to kind of go into because like when it comes to culture, like most of this beef, if you put it on paper, it's like Drake dissed Kendrick for being a wife beater instead of Kendrick, so the wife cheating on him with his general manager. And then we got Drake saying that, or sorry, Kendrick saying that Drake's a pedophile. He has a secret daughter, and everyone in OVO is a sex offender, which is actually kind of true if you look at it. I think it's Chubbs and what's his face, Maka. Because Maka was actually on the case; he was in jail for it. I believe Chubbs also had a similar. He's a charge, I think. Anywho, let's get on to Kendrick's side. Uh, like that was all right, but it's too short. But like I said in the previous video about the beef, that it was sort of the intro. So can I can I say it's really like a diss song? Considering it's not fully a diss song, it wasn't like I feel like the way Future was making it, maybe it wasn't intended to be a diss song with Future and Metro, but it ended up becoming one, kind of the rebuttal to First Person Shooter. So I'll give it it's all right because obviously it sparked a controversy. Obviously it was a big deal, but it was just too short of a verse for me to really have like a crazy opinion on it or anything. So Euphoria, which is the beginning of it, I mean, wasn't anything crazy. I'll say I couldn't really like I didn't really get with the song so much. But then honestly, I know this is kind of ironic considering that like show's based in Toronto and I live in the Greater Toronto area. But the part where he's like making fun of and mocking the Toronto accent, the disrespect there, God, like even being from a location like this, being from this type of area, you can't like say that he didn't go in like his use of like the make mocking the accent and all his use of saying Crody kind of like he has Drake beat in a way just off that alone, just because of like, oh, he's pulling his legs, like I mean he's pulling his tail, whatever. It's just a matter of like Drake. I feel like in his disses, he spent his time saying like, obviously like whatever he said about Kendrick that I already mentioned, and then but it's a matter of like he was saying, "Yo, Kendrick, you're a joke," but at the same time, he's like, I feel like you could tell that when Drake was constructing his flows and stuff, that I feel like he was sweating, but at parts he was trying to seem like he's not sweating. Like on Family Matters, like he's like, "Oh, I'm just chilling. I'm just okay, whatever. Kendrick's not a big deal." But then at the end, you just hear him go in for a bit. He's trying to go for the weekend, go for Rocky, go for Rick Ross, like go for I think Future. I think he also does Future. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I missed the line, but he was just trying to go for everybody's heads after that because I feel like that was like at first at the beginning of the song he's just kind of like, "Well, I'm chill. Kendrick ain't got nothing on me." But then later on he realized like, "Yo, if I don't snap right now, Kendrick's gonna eat my head off." Pause. And he did snap. So I thought like it was the appropriate response. But Kendrick was already like loading and emptying the clip on Drake. So if Drake didn't shoot a shot back, it would have been over already. But like I'm saying, Euphoria, that Toronto accent thing, the disrespect, like it makes sense. And like it also makes sense considering the point that like when Drake came back too, he came up with push-ups. And he came back with Taylor Made also. And Taylor Made, the whole point is he's saying like Kendrick ain't got nothing on Taylor Swift. If he drops when Taylor Swift drops, she has the advantage. And Kendrick will get overshadowed. And the whole point of him using the AI Pac and the AI Snoop, which I said I think is disrespectful. I'm pretty sure Snoop was all shook up about it, and Tupac's estate like told him to remove that song down, and then Drake removed it down. I think he only posted it on IG, based on what I recall. That whole like him trying to tap into the Cali culture, it kind of like rubs off on Kendrick the wrong way. That like, he's like, "Oh, Kendrick, you're from Cali, but you're letting down Tupac and Snoop Dogg." That's kind of what the narrative was. That's what he was trying to get the AI to say, like, "Oh, you're the big dog, so why aren't you responding?" That was kind of like the the like gist of the song, other than the Taylor Swift stuff, and like it literally being named Taylor Made, and then it's like a pun on Taylor Made, like something made by Taylor. But like I think like it was such a bad song, to be honest, and it sounded so offbeat. I know it's AI too, but like it just sounded so offbeat. It didn't sound nice. Like whatever he was trying to accomplish, I understand it's supposed to be like kind of satirical and stuff, but I don't think he did it as well as Kendrick did this Toronto accent disrespect, to be honest. And then talking about like the what the place when he talks about that restaurant and having like spring rolls or whatever, duck sauce, some like bro, come on. And then honestly, the season desist line where he's like, "Oh, uh, you didn't like that record," that was jokes. That was like top tier. Like the delivery was nice too. And then 616, it had better disc bars, I believe, but I don't like personally. I mean, but I don't like its delivery as much. Similar with Meet the Grams delivery. However, it was better than 616 in my opinion. It was very retrospective, and I think it really stripped away at Drake's credibility and his character. Like, oh Drake, you not nothing, bro. You ain't got nothing. Like you better know that. Like you're a bad dad. You're a trash like baby dad. Uh, you let down your daughter that you're hiding. Let down your son, and he doesn't have a real role model. And Kendrick's basically saying, "I'm sonning you. I'm your son's role model." He's talking directly to the kids, and then on top of that, he's calling Drake. I think he called him like little bro or little dog or something. And then he's talking to Drake's mom, Sandra, and saying, and then he's especially mad at Drake's dad, and he's saying that Drake's dad didn't claim Drake, so that's why Drake's not claiming his son, and now his daughter, supposed alleged daughter. And then yeah, it's just a matter of like, okay, now Drake, like, you're not a family man, and you can, and he also says like he's addicted to sex, and he's also thinks he's like a chick, and like so many other things that's like, Drake, you have nothing, got nothing. And like he even goes in like talk about how like there's moles in Drake's operation. Like I'm just seeing he didn't Kendrick, like I told you, in no way am I a Kendrick Lamar dick rider. I'm not a Drake dick rider. Honestly, though, like Kendrick deconstructed Drake. It wasn't like, I think the difference is that a lot of people may have sided with Drake because Drake has the ability to make a bop. And his ability to make a bop, I feel like people value that as, if you made a bop, no one cares about the lyrics. If you made a bop, just because it's more like replayable in a sense that, oh, it's a bop, people don't care. Like that's one to them. Like they won. Like they think Drake won because he made better bops. That's generally Drake's like his area, his niche, if you'd like to say. but Kendrick straight up just went raw on it. Pause. But like, I need you to understand it. When he made Not Like Us, that's the nail in the coffin. And like, not because it's the last song of the beef, technically, but like Kendrick showed everyone I don't just rap, I make bops. Like I told you guys this when I first started addressing this, like two, 3 episodes ago, roughly. 2 episodes ago. I guess part like episode 5, part one. I told you guys I'm not super into old school hip hop or rap no more. If I'm gonna listen to rap, it'll be actual old school. Nas, Eminem, Tupac, Biggie, Big L, Dr. Dre, Jay Z. I could keep going. Outkast, whatever. But in this sense, Kendrick, like, I don't listen to most of whatever they're trying to do now, like old school and new school. Like I don't listen to J. Cole that often, but I have some J. Cole songs saved. I don't listen to Kendrick that often, but I have some Kendrick songs saved. But most of the songs that I have with Kendrick, and same thing with J. Cole, but we're talking about Kendrick, but I'm just bringing up J. Cole just to tell you that it's not like a thing of like I'm just hating on Kendrick. That's why I don't have like it's the same. I view them in a similar light, but Kendrick, he's rapping, but he's making a bop. When he's doing that, he can do that. And when he's doing that, that's the songs that strike me like they strike my heart, like strike a chord. It's like because how do I say it? When I started making music, I was rapping a lot, like straight up, just bars on bars on bars. I used to freestyle a lot, and I have if I were to go through my cupboard right now or whatever, part of my dresser, there's like a whole bunch of raps, straight up just lyrical stuff. And then by the time I actually started recording music, I was in a very R&B melodic trap type of realm, and even some like pop, alternative pop, and now like some even some EDM and what else, ambient music, whatever you want to call it. But I always loved R&B and pop and all the words, even some jazz, some rock, hip hop, rap. But it's just a matter of like I knew that I wanted to make all this type of music in one. But I I I don't like rap is a very great genre, and I can rap. It's just a matter of I don't think that just rapping is what I want to do. And I could just rap. You could give me 5 minutes and I could just rap for 5 minutes straight, 10 minutes straight, whatever. I still rap when I make trap music. I even sing rap, but I always wanted the mix of vibes and bars. I'm sure I've said this before on the show. And honestly, when Kendrick Lamar does that mix, to me it's peak. Because that's where I'm at personally. I can understand that Kendrick can rap his ass off. And I respect him for it. And he's already done that. But he doesn't so often go for pops and rapping his ass off. But when he does both, that little thing, that basically means if you can make a bop, that means you can catch a vibe. That means you can lay down a vibe on a beat. And if you can rap, that means you know how to write. That means you know about delivery, you know about flow, you know about you just got lyricism, man. You got a pen that can't be touched. So if you have the ability to make that little, I guess, compromise, you could say, or that intersection between having the bars and having a vibe, that's what makes a bop. And that, if people can see that, then they know they're like, this guy just did something. Somebody cooked here. He cooked. Because if he couldn't rap, maybe he couldn't go as in on that vibe. And if he can't catch a melody, he can't get a flow going, then he can't just groove on that beat. People, I feel like so many people are just like Drake is good. I feel like people are blinded by this nostalgia. I have a feeling that he's washed based on my opinion because before Drake was either rapping or he was rapping and vibing, but it felt more authentic. I told you, I feel like him and Kanye just do stuff to just for it to sell because they know they got a big enough IP, they got a big enough name, they got a big enough brand that if I drop Poopity Scoop or whatever, or if I drop Girls Like Girls, people are gonna like that. They're gonna eat it up because I'm Drake, I'm Kanye, and I feel like that's a very sellout mentality. I feel like even Travis Scott is this sometimes, Weeknd is this sometimes. I don't like to admit it; those guys are like more of my influences, but it's still the case. You don't really see Kendrick do it so much, but I guess the point of what Drake's trying to make is that Kendrick does it. He makes those pop songs with Taylor Swift and whoever, I think Adam Levine, whatever the hell. But I mean, Drake is also a pop artist. But when Drake tried to act like he's tough, I'd stop liking that, to be honest. And this whole beef is Kendrick saying Drake stop acting tough. I can agree with him because Drake changed a lot. Like, it's not like I know him personally, but based on what I've seen, based on him coming up in an area where I'm from, you just see him go from like, oh, I'm an actor, I'm chill, I rap a little, I sing a little, and then all of a sudden, yo, I got this beard, I got like five different accents, 10 different accents. Like, where's the authenticity, bro? There's nothing wrong with being versatile and changing things up. Hell, I make all different types of music, but it's just a matter of like, if you're gonna mix things up, I think it's better if you like try to mesh everything into one. I feel like every year for the past couple of years, Drake has been changing himself. He was a singer, then he was a rapper, then he was on like a patois vibe, a dancehall vibe, then he was on a Spanish vibe. He's also on an Arab vibe. Like he's changing lanes, but I don't think he needs to change lanes. He has a good lane. He can either go in on his raps or he can go in on his singing. And he's he still can make bops from time to time, but the effectiveness of them, it's lacking. Kendrick dropping Not Like Us, the effectiveness is huge. I only listen to Bob Kendrick, by the way. All the Stars, Collard Greens, ADHD, and Money Trees. He's rapping in those songs. They're vibes, man. They are vibes. I didn't put Goosebumps here. I didn't put Sidewalks here. I don't like how he sounds on those songs. He's rapping on those songs, like Rent's Due. But he didn't get the Sidewalks vibe. Like the Weekend is singing and vibing. This guy's just going like say I'm murder. Like no, that didn't add to the song. Didn't accentuate my experience. Or like Goosebumps, like put that pussy on a pedestal, something like a high note, whatever. Like no, didn't he didn't catch the vibe of what was going on. He served the purpose of being that like generic traditional rap verse, but I wanted to see Kendrick's adaptability and all the stories you hear him rapping, but it's just like you hear him sing a bit too. Collard greens too. It's just like a you hear him sing a bit. I like that mix, and he's a capable enough artist that he can mix it up without it's like the way he mixes it up. Like I feel like he knows he's a rapper. He only went out of his way to sing or whatever and make this vibey, like us California banger for two reasons. This is based on my opinion. One, that I think that he just made it kind of in a way to spite Drake, in the sense that Drake makes these bops. People love Drake's bops, and but Drake can't really rap. Not compared to Kendrick. Kendrick's like, I already out rapped you, dog. Let me out bop you. And after I make a better bop than you, or I make a bop that I guess gets me to the top, kind of like how apparently Drake's the best. It gets him to that level. Once I prove that I'm better than you, not just by making the bars, but I'm better at making a better vibe than you, better melody than you, a better club song than you, then like you also need to understand the other reason he probably did this is because Drake was saying you ain't do nothing for Cali, bro. If Kendrick just rapping, I told you it's good. He was making points. He was destructing Drake's character, but it was you can just be rapping and you'll just be a rapper. Like you're not like when he was rapping. he was just going for flexing his bars, right? But in the way of him doing that, I don't think he wasn't that's the like I feel like to Kendrick that's the best he is when he's just flexing his bars and he's rapping. I'm gonna be the greatest, I'm gonna go raw, I'm gonna be cutthroat with this, whatever. But Drake dissing his California heritage allowed Kendrick to be like, let me tap into that. You try to make like a song repping the set kind of with Tupac and Snoop Dogg. Let me show you how I really rep the set. And it's kind of like he's also being satirical in a way to rebuttal Taylor made. And the way he's being satirical, it's like, I'm this California dude, guys, California bars. Drake, you're a colonizer. You're trying to steal from Atlanta, trying to steal from the culture. You don't understand that I do this shit. I do it like mans from Cali do it. I do it like Dre. I do it like Snoop. I do it like Pac. Like we do it, bro. California knows how to party. Like he's showing that. And I can understand why you don't really hear from Drake like that. Like what is Drake gonna say? It's like kind of like that 8 Mile scene where B Rab and Eminem he gets all this and stuff, and then like he's getting this like obviously in the rap battles, and then he gives his rebuttals, and then when Papa Doc comes up, Papa Doc doesn't spit. Eminem goes first. When he goes, he Eminem just flames himself, saying, "Yeah, I'm this. Yeah, I'm that. Yeah, I'm that. But what about you? What are you?" This is kind of Kendrick saying. Kendrick already deconstructed him. He already said, "What are you, Drake? You have this flaw. Drake, you have that flaw. Drake, like you don't know how to treat women. Drake, you're a pedophile. Drake, you can't raise your kids. Drake, you're a bad like father. You're a bad like husband, quote unquote, whatever." He already did all that stuff. Now he's doing the exact same thing, but he's just cementing the fact that they're pedophiles. And then he's also cementing the fact that he can make a diss and he can make a bop, and they ain't like him. They're not like the OGs from Cali. Drake will never be the OG from Cali. Drake will never be the rapper, and that's what Kendrick Lamar is doing. He made the diss and a bop. That's what Drake was doing. And I told you, people don't care for the bars when it's a bop. Kendrick showed you, if I made a bop too, and I gave you the bars, I win the game. He won the game. Sorry to say that, but he won the game. I can't really tell you if I sat down. Like, I probably heard Drake songs more than I've heard Kendrick songs. But listening to Drake songs and replaying them was a certain time for me. Listening to Kendrick and replaying his stuff is also a certain time for me. They're very to me they're very essential to the time that I listen to them. There was a time where I'd listen to like headlines and what's it called, the HYFR and the motto and motion and trust issues. Like I could go on forever. Um, honestly, I could go on over. And I can just name a bunch of Drake songs older than you even. Um, but not super new. I've kind of hopped off listening to Drake because I told you the reasons of what I feel. But then there's also times I listen to College Greens a lot. All the Stars, ADHD, Money Trees. Like I listen, like obviously I name more Drake songs, but I've been more deeply into Drake's catalog back in the day. I haven't given Kendrick's uh catalog a fair chance for me to say that I listen to Kendrick more than Drake. But just based on that, you can tell I listen to Drake more, like in different songs. That doesn't mean I didn't repeat those same four Kendrick songs over and over again. Maybe even more than I listen to Drake. But even then, I think Kendrick is more true to himself. I told you, like he doesn't go out of his way to make bops. I don't think so. I think if it comes and he's rapping and it becomes boppy, he does it. I think Drake just tries to hop on the next trend over and over and over. And that's kind of why he's never died down essentially. But I think that's what makes him washed up. Kendrick, all he did was prove that. After the after all this, man, the aftermath is basically that Kendrick got his number ones, a lot of number ones. Even though Drake did say in it was Family Matters, what the fact that I think it was Family Matters that Kendrick will only get to number one because of that is something to keep in mind. But I just know personally though, because Drake changes lanes all the time, he'll always pick up new audiences. Kendrick stays in the same lane. People aren't interested in the lane Kendrick's in. He's not gonna have audiences for that. But I feel like a lot of people were hoping to see Drake get ripped apart. I think Kendrick did that. Is it over for Drake? I think if Drake stays true to himself, and I mean, if the allegations aren't true on all the stuff, which they seem to be all true, because there's some video proof of some of that stuff, that like Drake will still try for his longevity, but he's kind of a dead man. I thought it was really cringe at the end of that song. Where Drake's going, "You're dead, you're dead, you're dead." Like he kind of went off for a minute, but then he just like, why would he say that? Like that's such a cringy thing to say. Like anyhow, Metro's response to Drake. Let's talk about that because it's the wrap up. The beef is over. Kendrick won. I'm gonna just say that. If you don't believe me, go back and listen to the songs. See which ones resonate with you more. See which disses are actually well put together, and then just yeah, I don't even know. Just after that, like you know what it is. If you think Drake won, I don't know what to tell you. Drake will win maybe the game where you compare who has more hits, quote unquote, bops. But who is a better rapper? It always was Kendrick. This beef shouldn't have happened. It just happened. Like you're comparing apples to oranges. Like straight up, you just are. So it's just if you don't get it, you don't get it. That's what I mean. The fact that Kendrick did both and Drake is yet to rap like Kendrick raps, like it's a no brainer to me. It just like I don't want this to be the Drake slander show. With Drake right now, he's not giving me anything to not slander him for. So that's just kind of how it is. Anyhow, Kendrick got his number ones. He disappeared. Metro responded to Drake, telling him to make some drums with a beat, and Metro told anyone to rap on that beat. The beat's called BBL Drizzy, and it's kind of gotten pretty viral. And on top of that, then Drake rapped on it with Sexy Red on a collab, and then he says something like she got a BBL, she got it from Drizzy or something, because like he knows a doctor or something. Trying to feed into it, but like now, see, I told you, he's already trying to hop on to something. Pause. He's trying to hop on some wave, and Kendrick was like, when you stand beside Sexy Red, you like probably think there's two bad bitches in front of the mirror or something. Now he just hopped back with Sexy Red. So yeah, is this a result? Was he gonna hop on that beat? Like, I mean, that beat wouldn't exist if didn't that beef. But it's a matter of like Drake's already trying to hop on the next trend. And that is the trend that Metro made a beat against Drake, and Drake tried to tap into that, but he's just getting clowned to be honest. J. Cole, he just dropped a feature, I think, like 2 days ago. I think it was with Cash Cobain. A song called Grippy. I don't need to tell you anything about that. But right now, Cole and Drake, they're the butt of the joke. They're getting flamed hard. And honestly, they were the ones that kind of came for Kendrick in first person shooter. If we like put aside the control drama from 2013. So, I mean, what can I say? I don't think Drake and Cole are in a good place right now. We'll see if they can bounce back. But Kendrick has come out on top. And now you can go back into wherever he was, just being chill and low key. But like, who knows? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, I can't tell you what's what. Could Drake make a comeback? It doesn't seem like he will. But considering that he's been able to always make some sort of comeback, regardless of if that's from style biting or not. I think we'll still be seeing him unless he just hangs up everything. I don't think he's ready to do that. Anywho, between all this, I didn't talk about Ye's like that remix, but I'm gonna just say it was a vibe. It was kind of Ye inviting himself to the party. We also had a weekend of Rocky dissing Drake before Drake dropped the rest of like, these disses, and then we also had that Rick Ross stuff. But I really wanted to focus on the main event, which is Dot with Drizzy, and I'm glad it's over because now like the world can move on more or less. That's kind of what I got for this part one. I didn't expect to dissect everything, but I kind of couldn't help myself. We'll see what's next for the rap game, the trap game, the music game, the hip hop game, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I think for now, it's a good place to leave this all off because this is all like everything has reached its climax at one point, and now things are either gonna smoothen over or they're just gonna get like a million, trillion, quadrillion times worse. But I don't think so. I think it's done. I think it's fresh. I think we're free. We're home free for now. Gunna and Future are tweeting at each other, beefing each other. But I haven't heard no diss songs yet because there's no diss songs existing. So who knows? That might be the next thing we're gonna have to focus on the beef of Atlanta rappers. But that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's part one. Very, very soon. We'll be back for part two. But very soon. I literally need like 5 minutes something to record. So take care. See you guys in part two. Peace.